Welcome to our first online performing arts webinar. We are thrilled to be able to host some wonderful artists who are here with us today to talk about the Gerak Angin Virtual Arts Festival. Actually, Gerak Angin is Malaysia's first virtual arts festival, and our talk today is being broadcast live from Sutra House in KL. I think this is also the first time that the Society's interviewed performing artists as well. So we are doubly thrilled to be able to sit down this evening with Datuk Ramli Ibrahim, Bernard Go, Zamzuriah, Zahari and Weijun. It's certainly an evening of firsts for us. Your host for this evening is well known to many of our members. He's fellow Society member Chacko Vadaketh. He's an actor, voiceover artist and host. On the stage, he's acted in many plays, including Shakespeare Goes Bollywood and King Arthur as Camelot. His TV work includes Sabur Singh in the Singaporean sitcom Mr. Kiasu, as well as shows on Cinemax, CBS, and the History Channel. He's hosted many events and award ceremonies across Asia and the US for esteemed organizations such as the Oxford and Cambridge Society Malaysia and also Prince Charles. Chacko read law and archaeology and anthropology at Pembroke College in Cambridge before he was called to the bar at Lincoln's Inn. He was a medico-legal lawyer at Shern Delamore and chair of the Law and Ethics Committee of the Malaysian AIDS Council before he threw up his wig and gown for the world of performing arts. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Oxford and Cambridge Society Malaysia is proud to present to you an introduction to Gerak Angin.
Thank you, Emma, for that introduction, and thank you to the Oxford Society for inviting me to host this session of the wonderful talk shows that you've organized right through the pandemic and through the lockdown on YouTube Live. We've had guests like Ibrahim and Ambika Srinivasan, and today we have some of the most prestigious and renowned performers in the arts world in Malaysia. The pandemic and the MCO has been devastating to many industries, not least the performing arts world. Theatres have been shut, concert halls have been padlocked, audiences have been kept under lockdown in their homes, and artists have had nowhere to perform, no means of earning an income. So what do we do? Right now, we're in a recovery mode in the MCO, and theatres are slowly opening up, but there are very strict SOPs. Capacity is reduced by 2/3. You have to have 1 seat open and 2 seats closed when audiences come in. And the public are hesitant to go back into an enclosed space with a lot of strangers and sit there and breathe the same air for 2 or 3 hours. So how do we deal with this? Well, Datuk Ramli Ibrahim of Sutra Foundation, Puan Sri Sabera Sheikh of Masakini Theatre Company, and Vivek Menon of Surprise Ventures brainstormed and met up with the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Arts and decided, what can we do about this? And they came up with a brilliant idea. If audiences won't come into the theatre, if theatres are partially shut, then why not bring shows to the audiences in their homes? And that's what's happening now. We have Gerak Angin, Malaysia's first virtual arts festival. And it's opening on the 16th of September, an auspicious day. It's Malaysia Day, and it'll be going on till the 2nd of October. Information can be found at gerakangin.com, and you can view the shows there once it's uploaded. There'll be a new show every day for 17 days, 70 new shows from some of the top theatre, music, and dance companies in the country. This is all very exciting, and I'm delighted to have with us a few people, some of the key people. There are, I think, 205 people involved in this festival. We just have 4 of them here with us today, and in this beautiful setting, which is Sutra House. I have, of course, co-artistic director of the Gerak Angin Festival, Datuk Ramli Ibrahim.
Hello, Chacko.
Thank you for being here. I have Bernard Go, who is the founder and artistic director of Hans Percussion.
Hello. Hello.
And I have Weijun, who's a dancer, come videographer, multimedia specialist who's working behind the scenes in the festival. And I have Zamzuriah Zahari, who's a Yong Primadonna lecturer at our National Arts Academy, ASWARA, and she'll be performing with Geng, which will open the festival on the 16th. I'll be talking to each of them individually. We'll get a taste of some of the shows that they're going to be doing, but let's have a preview of the whole festival, Gerak Angin. Over to you, Sean. There you have it, a taste of Gerak Angin, Malaysia's first virtual arts festival. And with me is co-artistic director of the festival, Datuk Ramli Ibrahim, who needs no introduction. He's the founder and artistic director of Sutra Foundation, a legendary dancer, choreographer. He's been declared a UNESCO Living Heritage.
Me?
He's been awarded the Datutship by the Yang di-Pertuan Agong of Malaysia. And he's also been given the Padma Shri Award, one of the most prestigious awards of India, by the President of India himself. And the list of awards and accolades are too numerous to mention. But it is an honor to be here and in Ramli's Sutra House. And Ramli, as co-artistic director, can you tell us a little bit about how this festival came about?
Well, actually, the idea is, I must say, was Sabera Sheikhs, who wanted to do something on the virtual platform because of the pandemic. So this is a response to the lockdown and the kind of pressure that artists have gone through, not just mental pressure, but the fact that they can't perform. And the fact that the angin of the artist especially is tak lepas. I, for instance, Chacko, because I always felt that I've had enough of festivals for the reason that when you organize a festival, you are basically preparing the banquet and not really enjoying it. So, but because it's Sabera, and Sabera is such a great friend, we have been together for such a long time, working together in the arts scene. So I said, let's do it. And so this is very much a response of the artists, the platform of the pandemic, which has hit us globally, to give artists chance to perform, to give them work, to lepas angin also, all of us, which is very important.
Yes, and the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture have come on board in a big way, right?
In a big way, and today was the festival launch, and I have to thank YB Nancy Shukri for being such a wonderful supporter of the arts and the artists. And so MOTAC, the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, has been the prime mover and supporter of this. And I hope the fact that we want to put the arts as very important in nation building, and not just the pandemic, and that this festival seemed to be going on so well to bring all the artists together, not just the music, arts and dance, but also the people working behind stage. And I think that we should have it every year.
I think that's a wonderful idea, and I think the new normal is to do a lot of things virtually.
Right.
Wouldn't you say so?
Yes.
And perhaps you can tell us why the name Gerak Angin.
Well, I think Zam might be better, but I also can tell because each of us has got angin, or this is a kind of inner wind, and that the fact that that this inner wind is important because it determines the strength of the semangat that is within us. So the semangat determines also how we function. So when the angin and the semangat is at free flow, then we can conduct ourselves in all matters of our lives much better. In fact, the angin is part of the healing process of the psyche of the human being.
So it's very, very appropriate as we're coming out of the pandemic, we hope that we're in recovery mode, and recovery also means healing.
Correct.
For all of us in Malaysia and hopefully around the world. And the wonderful thing about this festival is that people around the world can watch it virtually.
Yes, this is the thing. Because of the diversity, both Sabera and I had chosen not just the serious art, but also arts that cover the tradition, the modern, all the ethnic groups have been covered in here. The good, the bad, and the inspiring.
Nice. I thought you were going to say the good, the bad, and the ugly, but we won't go there. Talking about ugly, actually, Emma mentioned about me having given up my wig and gown, but I've actually given it up to have a whole array of wigs and gowns. As an actor, I have a wide choice of wigs and gowns of all kinds, shapes, colors, and sizes. So I don't think I sacrificed too much in that regard. I think I might have sacrificed other things by giving up a law career. Now, Ramli, there are 17 different shows that are going to be shown. One show will be uploaded at 3 p.m. each day of the festival, a new show every day, starting with Geng on Malaysia Day, September 16th, and going all the way up to 2nd October. Can you tell us a little bit about the range of shows that we have?
Well, you have the three genres of dance, music, and theatre, and both Sabera and I share the artistic direction of the genres, and I think we have, because this is the first one, we have chosen the iconic groups, so to speak, and really there are more, of course, but we didn't have unlimited budget, so we have 7 dance groups, 6 music groups, and 4 theatre groups, spanning many genres within the groups themselves. So for each day, we are going to present on the YouTube platform each genre, and most of them, except for Geng Wat Long, which had about 16 minutes of that, they have an option of about 13 or less, 10 minutes, because we have to realize that on the YouTube, we have to grab the attention. It has to look like almost a video clip, but not totally. We need to have the integrity of the work themselves, but we have to make it very interesting. And this is why we have some very interesting input also from the visual director for dance and music. It's Kartik Venkataraman. And for theatre, we have Neil, who has also input their creativity into the making of the video clip.
Fantastic. And there's a whole range, apart from the representatives and their shows that you'll be hearing from here today. We have people like the Kale Shakespeare Company performing. We have Dua Space Dance Theatre. We have who else do we have? We have there's something that I've not seen, is the show from Johor with the Barong.
Yes,
the amazing,
incredible
Barong singer, right? The lion-headed.
They're the Riok Ponorogo. from Batu Pahat, and these are all Malaysians, because as you know, just like the Chiti, the Baba, and all that thing, Malaysia is made up of incredible, diverse ethnic groups, and for Indian dance, we have the Suvarna, of course, Sutra Foundation, the Chinese group, also the Dua Space, as you mentioned, the Kidyao, and for the theatre, you have, besides the KL Shakespeare
Theatre 360 is there.
360, ACX, and also Steps. So these are, these are the opportunity for not just Malaysians, but people outside to savor the richness of Malaysian.
And there's even jazz, right? There's
the Jazz KL Jazz, and Samuel Das and ASWARA Asia are also performing for us their brand of music that they have specialized in.
It's a real showcase of the diversity of Malaysian performing arts.
Absolutely, never been done before.
Could you share with us a little bit about what the process is involved in filming this? Because it's actually blending film and live theatre together. Right?
Yes, we are very fortunate to be able to centralize the recording at Studio Rami Hassan, which is really a kind of best kept secret in town, that it is a lovely space, and this was for the last 3 weeks transformed into a kind of recording studio, and poor Sabera have got to contend with an incredible traffic of artists coming in and out every day from 6 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock in the evening. But there are times also that Kid Yao, for instance, wanted to his work to be at Sutra, and for the two jazz group, ASWARA Asia and KL Jazz group, we had it at their space, and so that was a lovely change, because we need a kind of a cabaret setting. So it's we have that kind of a commercial serious work also alongside to something like a classical Carnatic music, to Chinese contemporary dance, to incredible drum, hands, percussion of Bernard. And I think these are all iconic performing arts presentations that everyone is briefed.
How is it shot? Is it it's with multiple cameras? Yes, I mean, I've come and watched some of it.
Yes,
there's a lot of detail and effort.
Very on high-end technique thing, because a bit too much, maybe perhaps on 4K resolution. So they are very, very high-tech recording.
Okay, and we'll talk to Weijun a little bit more about that, I think. But I think the magic of a virtual arts festival is that you can get up close and personal with the artists that you couldn't do even if you had the best seats in the theater, the front row seats, but you can't see the hands of the pianist or the guitarist strumming, or the close-up facial expressions of the actors, and so on. So this is adds a new dimension,
and frightening too. So that's true. But having said that, Chacko, I love live theater, but I can't wait when this global pandemic is over and we can go back to perform in real theater, where we can have the rasa savor right there and smell everyone's kind of presence. But virtual is important, but the fact that we're going to reach out the whole world is wonderful.
Fantastic. Now, Ramli, before I finish our session with you, I know Sutra Foundation is performing in this festival. Could you tell us a little bit about what Sutra does and what it's going to be presenting at the festival? Yes.
Sutra has been associated with Odyssey, which we have in a way planted in Malaysia, and in a way it's achieved a certain kind of a critical mass of dancers and audience now. It's good. Everyone is talking about Odyssey, and it is almost at par, if not at par, with Bharatanatyam, which has been there for much longer. For this work, we are going to do a very special work called Aditya Archana, which is about the sun. the sun as a metaphor of that which dispels darkness. Darkness is ignorance, sun is knowledge. And we are using both the young dancers of Sutra outreach program, and I have been conducting this outreach program for the last 6-7 years in Rawang, Kuala Selangor, in Ladang Sungai Cho, in Kajang, and these dances are coming up. And metaphorically, we have a kind of a two-way thing where it started with the young dancers, and then it suddenly transformed with us older dancers in full costume. And yeah, I think it's going to be superb. The Aditya Chana, or the homage to Konarak as a place of the seat of the sun god in Odisha, is going to be the offering of Sutra Foundation for Gerak Angin.
Fantastic. I can't wait to see this festival. And of course, Sutra and its dancers have performed in some of the most prestigious halls in the world, from the Carnegie Hall in New York City to Sydney Opera House to the magnificent temples of Khajuraho in India. And now, thanks to Gerak Angin, they'll be performing right there in your living room, up close and personal, on your smart TV screen or your laptop or even on your phone. So enjoy these shows, enjoy Sutra Dance Theatre. And just to give you a little taste of it, could I invite Sean Tan, who's doing our tech very kindly and skillfully for us, to show us a little preview of Sutra at Gerak Angin. Thank you.
Jaya he Jaya Prabhu Deva Bhaskar Srushti Sthiti Laya Kari Sancha Iha Aha Raha Kari Vista Padma Hasta Sangarate Viha Padma Hasta Sangarate Viha Padma Hasta Sangarate Viha Dhagida Gidi Taka Udanda Nata Maya Sahita Lila Kala Prakata Sata Sahasa Chakku Kari Vituta Kalinga Khatre Prabhu Hoi Sabhuta Kalinga Khatre Prabhu Hoi Sabhuta Kalinga Khatre Prabhu Hoi Sabhuta Kadin Taka Din Taka Din Din Taka Din Taka Din Taka Din Ta Ta Thei Kiri Taka Taki Teta Kadin Taka Din Taka Din Din Taka Din Taka Din Taka Din Ta Ta Thei Kiri Taka Taki Teta Taki Teta Ka Jen Jen
And that was a beautiful sneak preview of what Sutra Foundation is going to be presenting at the Gerak Angin Festival. Sutra will be closing the festival on the 2nd of October, but all these shows will be available to view once it's been uploaded. So if you miss it on the day that it's uploaded, you can catch it at a later time. So keep a lookout for Sutra's presentation. Now I have with me the amazing artist, singer, dancer, actress, comedian, Zamzuriah Zahari. She's a, yes, I've seen you.
I hope so.
Yeah, you made me laugh.
Okay.
And looking absolutely resplendent here.
Thank you.
We match, actually.
Yeah.
Matching green, yeah. So she's a graduate of ASWARA, Malaysia's National Arts Academy of Culture, Arts and Heritage. She's an expert in the traditional art form of Yong, which is and Tarian Inai from Kelantan and Mek Mulung from Kedah. Yong has been declared by UNESCO as a masterpiece of oral and heritage, intangible heritage of humanity, which is such a tremendous achievement for one of Malaysia's oldest art forms. But sadly, these art forms are becoming extinct in their birthplace, particularly in Kelantan. And Zam has been particularly effective and active in preserving and reviving these art forms, at least here in Kuala Lumpur. She's a composer, singer. She's been awarded the Anugerah Seni Negara for young talent in dance. She's won awards for Best Actress, Best Script at the Dewan Bahasa dan Pustaka Monodrama. And she will be performing in Gerak Angin in Geng Weklong. which Geng Weklong ditubuhkan oleh Kamrul
Kamrul
Bari Hussein, who's Sekenal Kamrul. He's a very talented composer, musician, and choreographer, etc. Right?
Actor also.
Actor as well, multi-talented people. Yeah. So before we have a chat with Zam, Sean, could I ask you to give us a taste of Geng Weklong? Thank you, Sean. I think there was a problem with the sound. I don't know. Do you want to try that one more time, or shall we just continue? Well,
No.
I don't know what we want to do. Yeah.
Kita ni ada festival online, nama dia festival Gerak Angin. Festival Gerak Angin ada. Yo, nak suruh tenangkan jiwa, tenangkan fikiran. Jangan dia buat serabu, jangan dia buat macam-macam. Siapa kamu kamu tu? Pasti nak pergi tengok festival Gerak Angin. Apa pergi dah macam tu kah? Pergi. Pasti boleh pergi belum kaya dah. Boleh pergi juga. Pasti pernah pergi juga ayah dah. Aku pergi lah ayah dah. Nak pergi juga. Ayah dah pakai.
Thank you, Sean. That worked second time round, and I think everybody appreciates the sound effects, the language. That's bahasa Kelantanese.
Kelantanese.
Yeah. So Zam adalah seorang Yong Primadonna, ya, dan pakar dalam bidang tari seni yang purba. Tak ramai pemuda-pemudi sekarang ingin berfokus dalam bidang-bidang yang purba macam ini. Kenapa Zam pilih menjadi pakar dalam bidang-bidang seperti ini? So what I've asked is, in my slightly fumbling Malay, is, a lot of young people are not really interested in the traditional arts, especially ancient art forms such as Mak Yong and Main Putri and so on. But why has Zam chosen to put her focus in this? And I think we're all grateful for that, because we have this heritage living today, and a lot of that is due to your work, Zam. Kenapa Zam pilih buat demikian?
Okay, actually I'm starting dance when I'm 13 years old. And I'm starting with the Ulit Mayang and Asyik in Terengganu. And then when I know about what Ulit Mayang, I know about the spirit. I can feel the spirit. And then when I starting learn Mak Yong in ASWARA, so I can feel the spirit inside me. And then I remember when I 5 years old, I have experienced my grandfather. Masa dia nak meninggal, ada upacara Main Putri. Yeah, that time 3 hari 3 malam upacara tu berlangsung sampai 3-4 pagi setiap malam.
Okay, this is when her grandfather was at the point of dying. They did Main Putri, which is a form of Mak Yong, but it has a healing process. And it went on for 3 days.
And I'm waiting, but that time I don't know about Main Putri, but I'm then I can feel the soul, the spirit, and then I just watch, and then I don't know what happened my grandfather, actually my grandfather like Pak Imam. Dia orang kuat agama.
Okay.
And the same time dia juga orang kuat seni. Tapi because Terengganu and Kelantan sangat membataskan agama dengan seni, so that time my grandfather choose like not tinggalkan, inside dia penuh dengan kesenian, keturunan silat, pendekar, and dia pergi ke arah agama. So all my keturunan semua ke arah agama, only me and my family semua actually business. My mom business, my father business, adik-beradik kebanyakan business. Only me yang cabang seni.
Okay, saya terangkan kepada penonton. Yeah, what Zam was saying, because I think we have a lot of expatriates in the Oxford Society, and what she's saying is her grandfather was very involved in the arts, traditional arts, particularly silat and so on. But in Terengganu and Kelantan, there has been a trend and a move, especially by the past government, I guess, to separate religion, Islam, from the arts. And he sort of felt compelled to separate it. She felt he had the arts in him, but he put his focus on the religion, and her family did that as well, and went into business. But they have a tradition, the tradisi seni dalam keluarga Zam. And somehow this arts tradition just came into her and flourished in her. Dan itu memberi semangat kepada Zam untuk menumpu perhatian kepada tarian seperti ini.
Actually, I grew up also with the tradition, because me and my father always sing the old song, and then I always I tak hidup dalam modern style. I'm hidup, walaupun my generation, when I start in ASWARA, ASK that time, go to the pub or disco or a new environment. But for me, I'm still duduk di rumah or pergi taman bunga or sing the old song, and all for me, all traditional.
Okay.
So my jiwa lebih dekat dengan tradisional, so I banyak kawan dengan orang tua, because that I rapat dengan my cikgu Fatimah Abdullah, rapat dengan adik guru Pak Nasir. So because of that, jiwa I sangat dekat dengan tradisional. So bila I jumpa
jiwa, her soul is
because of that
is attracted to the traditional.
That, bila I jumpa Mak Yong, and then I betul-betul menjiwai Mak Yong. So till now I pegang Mak Yong tu like my second life lah. Macam,
okay. So untuk pesta Gerak Angin, Zam akan mengambil bahagian melalui Geng Wak Long. Apa itu Geng Wak Long? Boleh terangkan sedikit?
Geng Wak Long. Okay, Wak Long tu actually one of character in wayang kulit, and Wak Long tu sendiri adalah karakter Kamrul Bahri. Leader,
who's the founder of Geng Wak Long, right? This arts company.
Kita panggil Abayi dalam Geng Wak Long. So officially-nya ditubuhkan 2015, but not officialnya we move starting 2020.
Okay. So Kamrul sebenarnya your brother-in-law, kan?
Yes.
So ini
I'm menantu. Yeah, and then semua ada beradik, ada 4 brothers.
Okay.
And then with my father-in-law, and then isteri Abang Kamrul sendiri.
Okay.
Semua
so ini kumpulan semua family arts company, which is wonderful. I've even Zam's children are very talented musicians and so on, and they perform with them. This is fantastic to watch. So untuk pesta ini, apakah Geng Wak Long akan mempersembahkan?
Okay, in this Gerak Angin, Geng Wak Long perform all the tradition Kelantanese style, like we starting with the Main Putri, and then continue wayang kulit.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of the wayang kulit just now.
Di Barat style, and tarik inai, mengarak rebab Mak Yong, and then silat, all the style in Kelantanese we combine in one show. And then we invite also guest artist, which is very special guest artist for us, like Fatimah Abdullah, our adik guru, and then bapa saudara, what you call
father-in-law, uncle,
my uncle, Pak Hamzah from Kelantan.
Okay.
And then also our one more adik guru, Pak Nasir from ASWARA also. And then I'm starting belajar di ASWARA. Kita kenal siapa Fatimah Abdullah and adik guru Pak Nasir. Of course, and Pak Hamzah juga. Semua adik-beradik Kamrul Bahari, Baisa, Mak Din, Mak Wei membesar dengan Pak Hamzah and of course bapak mereka lah.
All right, so you're going to get a taste of the different wonderful ancient art forms of Kelantan in the Geng Wak Long show. Terima kasih, Zam.
Welcome.
And we'll move on to my next guest, who is Weijun. And Weijun is a graduate in dance from the Queensland University of Technology in Australia. He is a contemporary dancer, choreographer, but he's also a skilled figure skater. I didn't realize, I just discovered that he's an ice skating champion and coach. And he also uses his graphic designing and multimedia skills in video and sound and composing. And this has been particularly useful to Sutra in particular during the pandemic, because Ramli Ibrahim can't sit still. So in the pandemic, while everybody is in lockdown, he's actually compiling and creating video shows with Weijun skills. Let's see a little bit of what Weijun can do. And over to you, Sean.
Diginatum, ginatum, natum, tum.
Well, Weijun, then this is Weijun, ladies and gentlemen. Say hello to all our viewers out there. And that was a little taste of some of your video skills.
I think I introduced myself a little bit more than I should over there with the video.
I know. At the end, that is actually Weijun. Initially, I got a shock and said, oh my gosh, should we censor this? But you're actually clothed barely, but you are showing off that amazingly lean and flexible body. And that was actually from an online dance festival that you took part in, and you were voted one of the best of the fest. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, that was done for India, for Anita Ratnam. And that was part of our platform to encourage performers to make videos, something similar to Gerak Angin, but on a smaller scale. Each video is about 2 minutes, and my video was exploring on the lockdown, and my message is basically being fearless and facing, COVID-19 face first or butt first or whatever you want to call it.
Okay, yeah. So Weijun,
yes.
I think we've suddenly appreciated, if not discovered, your skills in videography and graphic design because of this festival. What made you move, in addition to your dance, to these areas, multimedia skills?
I think I've always been interested in the multimedia aspect of performance. I've always been so-called savvy with the computer and stuff. So it is a natural extension for me. Like I would be spending a lot of time watching video clips and studying video clips, as well as, I have an interest in producing work. So it's a natural progression for me. And also through the encouragement of Ramli Ibrahim. So the story goes like this. After the first 2 weeks of lockdown, Ramli gave me a call and said, okay, we need to do something. We can't just, be frightened about all this pandemic and stuff, and we need to move our ass and work. So we came out with the Embrace series, which is really to reconnect ourselves with the audience and to show Sutra as in what we do, and to be relevant. So we've produced 7 episodes so far, from Ramli with the MPO, Sutra, about our outreach program, about Odyssey, about Sutra Gallery. So it is a way to reintroduce ourselves to a wider audience and to say that, you know, Sutra is more than just a Indian classical dance company. And we do a lot of other things as well, including the Gerak Angin Festival. Yeah.
Fantastic. So now you've been working behind the scenes or in the technical side of things for this festival rather than performing on stage. Can you share with us a little bit of what is involved in filming a festival of the performing arts?
I think as a dancer and a performer, you know, I am exposed to the art form, as well as being working on television in the early part of my career. So I could actually bring those two together. And for me, it's also about bringing friends together. Like, you know, I've known Bernard for a long time, Zam, and all those people that we've worked together. So it is about that. And as well as having that creative eye. And a lot of what I do is what you've seen, the promos that you saw. I've actually cut 17 promos for the festival itself.
So all the promos that are there, that the ones we've seen and the ones for the other companies, all cut by you.
That's right.
Yeah, fantastic.
As well as some of the photographs that you haven't seen, as well as laying down the initial groundwork together with Ramli. My official position in the festival is assistant to artistic director for Ramli Ibrahim. So we've worked together in terms of bringing these people together, the crew, the cast, and to give you.
So can you tell us a little bit about the technicalities of it? You know, like I think you using 3 or 4 cameras. Is that right?
So our visual director is Karthik, and he is from the film industry. So he is so well versed with the shoot, so he's the best person for it. So we actually shot with 4 cameras, all on 4K, as well as expertly edited, and I will see through that process. We usually start our day, as Ramli said, about 6 o'clock, whereby we come in, we set up the cameras and stuff, and then we will shoot up to 6 o'clock. The interesting thing is, like, you know, what you see, maybe the show is like about 12 minutes. But in order to produce that 12 minutes, you know, we shoot with 4 different cameras, as well as the most difficult part for us is to transfer the file. So if you know, 4K, I'm speaking technical jargon here, is 4 times the resolution of the normal standard HD. So it takes 4 times longer to shoot, 4 times longer to transfer the files, and 4 times longer to edit. So it has been a very challenging and fun part for us on that side.
I think Ramli here was sort of finding it all a bit too much, right? Yeah. Too much of 4K stuff to worry about.
So, for example,
I said it first.
we would take at least 5 hours a day just to transfer the footages from the camera to the computer, and probably another week or so just to edit a single clip. So that's how, you know,
how much work there is involved. And that's not counting the amount of rehearsals and stuff that the artists are doing before they actually perform. So there is so much work that's gone into this festival. And congratulations to all of you. I really, really salute the dedication that you've had. And well, I think it's maybe just a quick comment about how you see the new normal as the arts moves forward, especially in dance.
I think the advantage of being artists is that we are very pliable or flexible, and we move together with times, and you know, we can adapt. And one way to adapt is to, you know, make our work available both online and as well as live performances. I think Bernard has done that to have shows that are available both online and having live performances, and Sutra is definitely doing that. So we try to move with the time and not to stay in one spot, and that's how we thrive and survive. Yeah.
Great. It's all about survival and Malaysia boleh, yeah? Well, my next guest, thank you, Weijun, for sharing that with us. Yeah. Next guest is seated right here. It's Bernard Goh. Hello. And of Hans Percussion. So I thought we would end the presentations literally with a bang. Yeah. So Bernard is the founder and artistic director of Hans Percussion, founded in 1997. He's the graduate of the Malaysian Institute of Art. I think Hans started off, rehearsing and performing in school halls with rented equipment, but they have since gone on to great heights. They've been invited to perform at the World Economic Forum in Davos, at the ASEAN Summit, where President Obama was going to be coming. Did he actually come? Yeah, he did. So President Obama has seen you, and they've been around the world performing, from Bali to Los Angeles to Seoul, and he's a TEDx speaker, and he's also the artistic director of the Damansara Performing Arts Center, right? DPAC. And you're having a festival there right now as well, called Spectrum. Spectrum, yes. So yes, do check that out as well for Spectrum. And it's also a combination of virtual and live theater. Yeah. So the arts is flourishing in KL, 2 festivals happening. So before we talk in more detail to Bernard, could I invite Sean to show us a little snippet of what Hans Percussion are going to be doing at the festival? Over to you, Sean. That was Hans Percussion. And here's Bernard Goh, the founder and artistic director. And Bernard, tell us a little bit about the story of Hans Percussion. How did it come to be? It's really become a fantastic product that arts festivals around the world are thrilled to have you join them, right?
Yeah. First of all, I really like to thank, this festival, all involved, especially Datuk Ramli, and then Sabira, and all the directors, and then because for us it's like, honestly, we shake a bit, we don't know what to do. We don't know what to do in lockdown. I trapped in my hometown, Seremban, because I thought we still can travel, but I trapped there for 3 months. I lost weight because stress. No. but yeah, Hans Percussion is I started drumming when I was very, very young, but that is Pancharagam. Pancharagam means school band. So I fell in love with trumpet first. I fell in love with tuba, all the brass instrument.
So school was in Seremban?
Seremban, yes.
Which school were you?
Chanwa.
Okay.
Yeah, Chanwa it's not a private school, but I if you got time I can tell more. I teach in private school, so I find it's a very different kind of mentality, and then the work. Even though that I started with Pancharagam, but I brought this into a kind of very cultural things that my master actually taught me, because we invented a 24 festive drum that went back to 1988. We use the drums that normally before that we can see that drum in lion dance, dragon dance, or dragon boat racing, but that is on the boat, right? Only 1 drums there. But we put 24 together. It's because the ancient in China, right? They got 24 festive. Each 15 days, they got 1 festive. So that's how I fall in love with this like wonderful like we say perayaan. But in Malaysia we don't have fall season because we are hot, you know. I mean, so summer all the way. So we celebrate particular 2 festive only. One is Qingming, you know, where we go to the cemetery and then, you know, that's it fall in like April. One is like December 21st or 22nd, right before like Christmas. That is like we have this glutinous rice, you know, in rice ball in ginger soup. Okay. So that 2 festive actually we celebrate. So before that, you know, my master really like invented this drumming thing. I really like mix this like pancharagam or drumming, Western drumming into this cultural. So it's kind of like funny, or it's fun for me to get back to the roots, you know. I learned back from my master. I learned back from very old master that, you know, how it become, you know, I mean, this drum, you know, how the technique, you know, because I apply pancharagam, I apply Western drum format in it. So slowly I gain back all this. Then I learned gendang, I learned tabla, I learned rebana. So because for me, I have argument with my master because I say like, because since you say it's born in Malaysia, right? So you must have this diverse kind of like drumming and rhythm in our performances. We cannot have very like monotone, like it's only like new Chinese drum, because that is only like performed for the lion dance and the dragon dance. So I think it's not fit. Then somehow now you have a group of them. And then we don't have lion and don't have the dragon. People focus is on the performer itself. So then how I turn it into my drummers have to move their body. I have to transform them into some kind of like performers, or people will so-called dancer. So we train our members in modern dance. We train our members in yoga. We train like, you know, so they are quite tough for them to really like fit in. So later when you can see our performances, it's like up to like 20 over years, you know, we've been trained that we move like a dancer. Of course, you know, we still got lots to learn, but that is a new trend of Malaysian drumming with body. Not only musicians, not only drummers.
Right,
yeah.
Because you're now the focus. You're actually the performers.
Yes,
you're not playing for the folk, you know, the dancers, or the lion dancer, or the lion or the dragon.
Yes.
Or for the dragon boat.
That is empowered. Okay. Yeah, empowered for them to move. Yeah.
So this is like a blend which is uniquely created by you, would you say?
Yeah, a group of us, you know. But of course, I think it takes a lot of times, and then, you know, I mean, brainstorm. I think at the very beginning of like 90s, the early 90s, we have a lot of like criticism, you know. I mean, for some very, very old masters, they say it's disrespectful, you cannot do that to the drums. But I think for me, I'm the kind of person like I want to do my work and then to show like why this work, or why I want to do this way. I'm not against you, but try and look at the different way. So
it's incorporating Malay, Chinese, and Indian rhythms.
Because I personally, I don't know whether it's like, you know, no offense to anyone. One, because I've been through that phase. It's like I need to wear some other race like costume, and then I play other race drums, right? And then the other race just wear Chinese like chamsamo and then play Chinese drum. I don't think that really like for me is like harmonies, or I don't think, because I brought up in an environment like for food, for instance, isn't it? I like nasi lemak. Nasi lemak is not from China. Maybe you like kway chao, kway teow, you know. I mean, food is like merged like so nicely. So why the culture actually can't be like that? So that is what Hands is all about. So the rhythm actually we play. We got so many like unique rhythms, you know, in our drums. But you can't really like tell like it's very awkward. Oh, why this like rhythm is like this? Because I learned tabla. I'm not really applying the tabla technique in, because we are using drumstick. Tabla is using the hand.
Right.
But the rhythm you can tell it. That's why when I perform in China or elsewhere with China, like, you know, majority, right? They never really like thought, you know, we can play something like that, because they look at the drum, it's like, this is from our country, like Guangzhou. But when it comes to Malaysia, we can perform this way. So it's only Malaysian can do that.
Well, it's like a lot of our foods, isn't it? I mean, there's Chinese food, but Malaysian Chinese food is unique, and I think tastes so much better because it's just a little spicier with curry leaf and all that. It's blended. So you're doing the same with the drums, and I think, and as I think the viewers could see from that little excerpt, it's really such an exhilarating experience, a feast for the eyes and the ears, and I'm sure everybody's looking forward to it. Your show will be on the 22nd of September. That's when Hans Percussion will be uploaded at 3 p.m. And what can they expect to see when they watch Hans Percussion at Gerak Angin?
I think it's a kind of like quite powerful kind of like stunt, but as people that first time to watch hands, I think that is the style of Malaysian, not only hands, Malaysian drumming can be, but for those who know us, right, I think that is something we want to break the boundary of the multi kind of like rhythm of it, but you have to really like listen to it. We kind of like want to merge it together. But this is one thing I really like. I'm proud of my team, but I think we have to be proud of what this land actually give us. If I grow in other country, I think I don't have this kind of like gift to really like penetrate to my composition. I think this is something I think it's quite wonderful. This Gerak Angin is because it's in this like Merdeka, 31st or 16 is our Malaysia Day.
Yeah.
So up to like 2nd. But I think it's still, in this very kind of chaotic things, right? How art bring us together. Like just now, Weijun said, like we know each other like 20 years ago, he's still a very like, but now you see, we can really like, but I thanks everyone.
Yeah.
Even though now I can't mention the name like the cameraman, but really, the work that put together, the environment to work together during this time, I think this is something very, for me, it's very touching. It's very touching.
I think it's truly wonderful. So I think we owe a lot to the ministry and to Ramli, Sabera, and Vivek, the producer, for making this happen and possible for some of our wonderful artists. We have a little bit of time. I've been allowed to go on a little bit past 9 o'clock. So if the viewers are out there and would like to have some questions, we have some questions already there. Managa or comments. Managa says, congrats to the entire team of Gerak Angin. It is a great opportunity to watch many genres, waiting eagerly to watch the performances. Thank you, Managa. Maisie says, do you think you'll still put on virtual performing arts festivals even when live ones are allowed again? Do you think there's an appetite for both? Maybe Ramli could answer that?
Depends on the budget. Oh, it depends on the sponsorship. You give me a couple of million, I'll do anything.
I'm sure. Zam, ada any comment about that? Kalau if live performances are allowed back to normal, normal lama, normal baru, will we still do virtual festivals?
Actually, virtual or live, actually kalau
prefer live kan?
Yeah, prefer live lah. But actually kita buat dengan cara apa sekalipun, when we give everything. Yeah, and then of course we do sponsor lah. Of course can do anything.
Yeah, of course. Because regardless whether it's virtual or live, we're still performing live.
Yes.
But the experience for you is virtual. But we hope that the virtual experience will be will give you a taste of our performance to interest you to come to watch our show eventually. So it works both ways. It feeds each other. Yeah.
It's an added-on thing, right? I mean, you're doing both virtual and festival in your festival.
Yes.
And actually, we've been having a conversation where saying even when you're doing it streaming, you should allow the audience in so that it's a combination one. People who maybe older people are still hesitant to go out because they're more vulnerable. They can watch it at home, but younger people maybe can be watching it in the theater. So it might be a blend of both. So now Johari says, does Weijun prefer to be behind the camera or in front of it?
I think as maybe if you asked me this 20 years ago, let's say in front lah. But now that I've done this quite for some time, I actually like to be behind the scene to support the artists and to be like this.
Good. Yeah. Okay, and then Prina Chandran asked something in Chinese. Can you read that, Bernard?
I mean, they are really, you know, I mean, looking forward to watch this performance. Yay.
Thank you, Prina. Wow, this is really an Indian name with a Chinese question.
Wow.
It's just got, that's the question there. And then, all right. Well, I think we're coming. I don't see any new questions up there. Thank you for everybody who's been watching and spent their Tuesday evening with us here at this Oxford and Cambridge Society event, virtual event on the YouTube live channel. Suffice for me to say a big thank you to Datuk Ramli Ibrahim, who's given us Sutra House to do this at. We have Zamzuriah Zahari, the wonderful Yong dancer, and much, much more. Weijun, thank you for all your help. Weijun's helped light this and make it look and sound good.
Well, he's lighting himself, I think. At the moment.
Do you want to show them? Do you want to show them the
setup?
The setup.
Yeah. And you can get a view. This is the office at Sutra House.
And then we've got the laptop on the Lazy Susan. So we can.
That's my idea.
That's Ramli's idea. Yeah, so that we can scroll. So it's a little mini Lazy Susan, but the laptop is mine, and it's my voiceover camera, voiceover mic that's picking up the sound. I think the sound is good, and Bernard's here. So thank you very much, Bernard, and thank you, Emma, and the Exco of the Oxford and Cambridge Society for giving us this opportunity to talk about the arts and to promote this wonderful Malaysian festival, Gerak Angin. Back to you, Emma, and thank you, everyone. Have a good evening and stay safe.
Thank you, Chacko. What a wonderful antidote to COVID blues and to nourish our artistic souls at this time, especially straight after Merdeka, as Datuk Ramli and Bernard said, and how apt to have a festival showcasing all the Malaysian performing arts and all of our questions as well, coming from a mix of all of Malaysia. That was wonderful. The links to the virtual festival will be at the bottom of the published YouTube recording, so you can just dip in and out using the links there and listen to some of the conversations again. Datuk Ramli, Bernard, Zam, Weijun, thank you so much for telling us about your amazing festival and all the hard work you've been doing with it. Thank you to Sean for making this live broadcast with videos possible, our first time. Thank you to Chacko, and thank you to Datuk Ramli's special little helpful friend Susan for helping us to host this evening. Datuk Ramli Ibrahim, Bernard Go, Zamzuriah, Zahari, Weijun, best wishes for a really successful festival. I hope it goes really well. For everyone watching on YouTube at home, stay safe, enjoy the festival. We're going to leave you with one final little snippet of the festival to get you committed to going and signing up for lots of different shows. So good night, everyone, and enjoy the last snippet. Thank you, Sean.